Hey guys, this is Ninja Knight. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you very much. So today we have, between yesterday and today, we've had some announcements from Hasbro for their what seems to be Pulse exclusives. This just seems to be what they were going to do for SDCC, so they've decided to release it on Hasbro Pulse, much to the ire of international fans because these things become exceptionally difficult to get in and very frustrating and also very stressful for international fans. And I'll explain why later on. So have here all Lewis Tully wanted to do was throw a party, but things didn't go as planned. Now immortalised forever by Ghostbusters Plasma series, you too can relive Tully's terrible night over and over forever. Available September 2020. So have Lewis here, and it's a very good likeness from what I can see of Rick Moranis. We have his pretty much like a tinfoil hat there, and we also have the Terror Dog. So I think this is probably the same Terror Dog, or very close to it, that was used for the Build-A-Figure. So again, a nice entry into the Ghostbusters line. I'm curious to see where the Ghostbuster Plasma series goes next, with the new movie being halted until next year. So I'm excited to see what they do next. Will they go into slimed version of the original Ghostbusters? I'm wondering what we'll see next. Maybe they might make up some obscure characters, make a new comic book, perhaps with new characters or brand new characters. Could be an idea maybe going forward, and they can reuse an awful lot of those parts. So next we've seen, yesterday it was announced that we have the Marvel Legends Hellfire Club. So again, it comes with a beautiful box with a beautiful background, and we have our Sebastian Shaw, we have our Black Queen and our White Queen here. So this is the Jean Grey version of it, and we also have our Emma Frost version. Emma Frost looks really good here. It's the same body, coloured differently, but I think it looks really nice. We have our Donald Pierce here with a Magneto helmet. We've also got a Wolverine cowl. We've got a couple of futuristic looking guns. We have a Hellfire Club book and some optional hands for Donald Pierce there, because as we know, he's part of the Reavers later on in the storyline. So again, cool character. So Marvel Legends fans, I'm sure, are happy with that one, because it's been I think it's been a very long time, if ever, they've ever seen Hellfire Club. So it's interesting to see. A lot of people were skeptical whether the word Hellfire would be used, but yep, it's there. So that's good. Next up, we have our Power Rangers Lightning Connection, and this was revealed this evening. So this looks absolutely stunning. This is Lord Draken. So for anyone who doesn't know, this is an evil version of Tommy Oliver, who ended up taking the Green Ranger powers in the Boom Studios comic books and fusing them with the White Ranger powers, and then he does an awful lot of other evil, cruel things then later in the comics. There's already been I think it's the first or second Draken evolution that's already been released in the Lightning Collection line, and this is the third version, so I'm sure that the either number one or number two is going to come later on. So interesting to see. It looks like a plastic cape. I'm not a big fan of them. I'd rather the soft goods cape like they used in the Cobra Commander, so a little bit disappointed in that. I'd rather the soft goods cape and maybe a wire in it. I think that would look cool. We see here that this comes with a massive lightning effect that wraps around the character. We have Sawbar here with his head. For people that don't know, Lord Draken removed Saba's head within the comics, so I think that's a bone of contention amongst the community, the fan community. We have the Pink Ranger, the Green Ranger, the Yellow Ranger, and the Red Ranger's helmet. So you can see it ever so slightly that there seems to be black paint on it to represent the cracks that were in the helmets, and some of the images of Lord Draken are really, really cool. We'll see here, this also comes with a poster, so as we can see, we have some of the cracks in the helmets there as he stands above them with his lightning powers, and again, this is giving you a full detailed look at what he comes with. So he seems to come either grabbing hands or fists, and then he has these open hands then to probably to hold the helmet, and then his helmet in itself. Displayed absolutely lovely. I like this. So this is the Lord Draken Evo 3. We see his lightning coming up through this, and we see the helmets. Again, I'm not sure, judging by the looks of this, but it seems that the Red Ranger's helmet still looks off, which is a bit disappointing considering Hasbro made such a big deal of the fact that they had the original helmets for each of these, and that they scanned them and that they 3D scanned them, and that we would see perfect representation. So it's disappointing to see the likes of the Red Ranger helmet, which is probably the most iconic helmet in the whole series. They seem to have botched it in the previous release with Jason, so I hope that they rectify that eventually. And indeed, some of the QC problems that we've seen with the Lightning Collection, I mean, there's been some very bad painting that's gotten through and been put into the line. There's also been some iffy sculpt work as well too again, but like I said in a previous video, seeing John Warden move over from Transformers, who gave it his all, who really loved the brand, into Power Rangers fills me, and also Ghostbusters, it fills me with a lot of hope and optimism that he might actually set the brand right, because I think, and I might be speaking out of school here, but I think it was being ran by people that didn't really understand or know the brand, and certainly didn't love it. So I'm hoping that John Warden brings that love and that care to the brand, certainly. So this is something I definitely want to see. I definitely want to pick this up. And lastly, for the moment, we've had this. So in the stream, the Marvel Legends guys said that the reason why the wheelchair doesn't feature the X's in it from the movies is that because they wanted to reuse the wheelchair for the Logan pack. So I'm a bit surprised by this. I'm surprised that they didn't factor in that the X-Men movies, even though the Logan movie is really loved, I would have thought that maybe they would have put the McAvoy chair and the Patrick Stewart chair, particularly from the original movies, into a bit more of an important factor, rather than giving all the spokes on the wheel for the one movie that disappeared. And I find that that's a bit of a strange decision, but sometimes there's no kind of questioning as to why they decide to do these things. So we're seeing a lovely portrait for Hugh Jackman, and I think by far this is the best looking Hugh Jackman head that they've done. I think some of them look I'm a bit skeptical, particularly by the Amazon sculptor for the head. It looks way off. I think Marvel Legends generally have a problem across the eyes. I find that their eyes are very bug-eyed, that they're very wide apart. You'll see that in a lot of the figures, that the eyes look very, very wide apart, rather than some of them should be closer than others. And I think that they've nailed Hugh Jackman's likeness here, and the screaming head looks pretty cool, and the scars and that as well. So you have hands that have no claws extended, hands with claws extended, and for a Marvel Legend Force, according to the team, they're going to see Marvel Legends Wolverine claws with blood painted on them, and this is an unprecedented thing to see, especially because this has been marketed again with your kind of ages plus and up sort of stuff. So it's a welcome addition, and I'd like to see more accessories include this. I'd like to see way more battle damaged things like this with blood, because as we know, if they decided to do a battle damaged Tony Stark from Endgame, for example, like, he had blood trickling down the side of his face and pretty major injury, so I'd like to see that. We've got Charles Xavier across here in his hoodie, and again, yeah, he looks nice, he looks okay. They're probably reusing an awful lot of parts here, particularly in the legs. The legs look pretty similar here. Them feet have probably torn up beforehand. The hoodie looks like it's a different it's a new mold perhaps, and again, the arms were probably used for like the Stan Lee figure. The Charles Xavier head sculpt, I think, here looks phenomenal, and I think a lot of people had a lot of criticisms for the Charles Xavier head sculpt for the X-Men 20th anniversary ones, but this one looks pretty spot on with the stubble on it as well. I really like it. Now we're going to talk about what the problem is. So the Hasbro have decided to make these Hasbro Pulse exclusives, and for anyone that doesn't know, the Hasbro Pulse exclusives seem to only work and be shipped to Canada and the US. That's a problem, because international fans would love to go to the source, to Hasbro, and it's like, again, as I've said in previous movies, it's like Hasbro don't like money. I don't understand their business thought behind this. I think people, especially international fans, would be more than happy to be able to lock in their pre-orders with Hasbro Pulse, and if they had to pay a customs fee later on, I don't think anybody's going to have a problem with that whatsoever. And that's, I suppose, a bone of contention, that, if people order from it, they are going to have to pay a customs fee. That's not, to me, that's not a problem, because, like, take the stress out of ordering these things. Now international fans don't know if they're going to get this, or if it's going to turn up on a website, for example. Are they going to be able to buy them? I mean, Amazon UK have had some exclusives over the last year, particularly the Skywarp Transformers War for Cybertron pack, and that was a disaster. I don't think that ever was stocked. I could be incorrect on that one, but as far as I know from all of the Transformers groups that I'm in, it didn't seem to get stocked. So if you had bought it from America, that was good, and then that was that. I mean, it didn't seem to come across to the Amazon UK, so a little bit unreliable there, which is unfortunate, because I mean, these are excellent figures, and I mean, a lot of time and effort have obviously been put into these, so the fans are desperate to buy these. And I mean, again, if I was working at Hasbro, I would definitely be thinking of, how do we get everyone involved? How do we get the money directly to our source? That would be my prerogative as a business. I would say, look, there's international fans that are hungry for this merchandise, that really, really want it, and they just keep botching it, or they just keep looking like that they don't care about international fans. Constantly, you'll see on their comments, on their Instagram lives, and on their Hasbro Pulse lives, that people want to see these items. They want to be able to pre-order these items internationally, and I think leaving out the international fans it's a pretty insane thing to do. I mean, we've seen the recent G.I. Joe Snake Leader, Cobra Commander, that looks amazing, but again, international fans don't know if they can get it. The same with the Transformers Pit of Judgment. I mean, the '86 movie was a highlight, one of the highlights, and a movie that I look back on and absolutely love. And the Pit of Judgment, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it, and I don't. What's the incentive for me to continue to collect these lines if I have things missing? Like the Target exclusives for G.I. Joe. What if I couldn't make? Luckily I was able to source them, but what would happen if I can't complete that line? There's a lot of people out there that wouldn't go to the effort that I go to purchase these items, and then would just say, right, well then I'm not collecting that line now at all, because there's going to be holes in my collection. If people out there that are turning away collections, selling collections because they just can't obtain these figures, and I don't blame them, because why should things like this be that difficult? This should have a simple release, in my opinion, where the Hasbro Pulse do one of two things: either open the Hasbro Pulse across in the USA to international customers, or set up a second base in Europe. Set up somewhere in Europe that Europeans can buy from, and then you set one up maybe in Asia. Have three different ones running at the same time that everyone can go and get product from those three sites. Perhaps this is free business advice I'm giving you. I mean, I want to give you money as a Hasbro. I want to give you my money to purchase all of these, and in the case of the Draken one, I want to get two of them, because again, like I said, the QC has been so spotty with the Lightning collection that I'm not I'm not really going to believe that if I buy one I'm going to be set for life. I'd rather have two and be able to pick out one of the best ones. So I think Hasbro need to really look and reevaluate the situation of what they're doing, and how they're going to do it going forward, because again, they have a lot of international fans currently stressed out. They have a lot of international fans that are ready to walk away from the brands. And I mean, this is multiple brands. You've got Transformers, you've got Power Rangers, you've got G.I. Joe, you've got Ghostbusters. You have these all under the one umbrella. And a lot of people are just going, you know what, I'm just not going to bother anymore. And I mean, you really need to change as a company, in my opinion, and open these up to international fans. And be honest with international fans. Tell them from the get-go, look, this is happening. I mean, the problems with the HasLab Sentinel, you took 2 to 3 weeks, was it, to get the HasLab Sentinel out to a vendor in the UK. That should have been set up from the get-go. It should have been like, right lads, this is where the Americans are going to buy it from. Americans and Canadians can buy it from. This is where Europe and the rest of the world can buy them from. That should have been set up. It shouldn't have been tedious discussions and international fans being concerned as to whether they can get these products or not. So again, a bit of free business advice there for Hasbro, but I don't know if they'll take heed of it. I really hope that they do, and I hope that these exclusives become easier to track down in the future. But I'm not holding out too much hope, because we've been so long getting this type of treatment from Hasbro that I'm surprised there's any fans really left across in Ireland and Europe and the UK. It's really baffling stuff from Hasbro, and I would like to see a change. As I'm saying, we do want to support you, we do want to buy these products, but just please don't make them so difficult for us to track down and buy. Just this is all we want as fans, and please show us the respect that we deserve, because we're trying to give you our hard-earned money, and that's ultimately it. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'd really appreciate that. So I will talk to you later.